Hello, my name is Tyler, and I welcome you to Sapphire City, a new amusement park that I just finished as a part of the Tiny Park Challenge. And this is a futuristic Vaporwave themed amusement park that was built on the edge of a canyon. And this theme park was built under the constraints of the Tiny Park Challenge, so it had to be very, very compact, which is why it is so vertical. And the cool thing about this park being so compact is that it is 8 different levels. And starting from the very bottom levels that are underground, those are themed after the past, and these ground levels are themed after the present, and then the higher you go, it gets to be themed after the future. So the higher your elevation you are in this theme park, the further along in time you are. Now there's a total of 23 rides. There's 9 roller coasters, a river rapids, and a haunted dark ride. Here's a picture of the park from a side view, which is really cool. You can actually add your own pictures. This is what the park looks like from the side, if you want to see. But we're going to be touring this park as if we're an actual guest today. Now this park is sponsored, actually, by Manscaped, which is a shaving company that sells a fantastic electric razor that is almost impossible to cut yourself with. It's also waterproof, rechargeable, and very easy to clean, and I personally recommend it. You can buy their new 3.0 shaver in the link below for 20% off with the code TOUCAN20. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be just doing a general park tour. I'm not going to be riding any of the rides. There's a separate video which you can watch with a link in the description or by clicking a link in the corner of the video. But in this video, I will be just focusing on the scenery, just looking at the guests, the buildings, the lines the people have to walk through to get onto the rides, and just appreciating the overall details of the park, because I put so much detail into this theme park. I probably put in around 15 to 20 hours off screen in between the last couple of episodes, just adding lots of just small details, so I could really just kind of showcase them off in this final park tour video and just kind of show off how detailed Planet Coaster is. Now the reason I love Planet Coasters is kind of like Minecraft in a way, and what I mean by that is it's kind of limitless. The only thing you're limited to is your imagination, which I love games like that, because the previous Roller Coaster Tycoon games were really free and open, but they had lots of constraints, and this is just a really modern age theme park simulation game to where you can just do anything, anything. The only limitations in this game are the scenery limitations, but that's still not very limiting because there is a lot of different scenery in this game, including all the DLC and such. And one of the other cool things is this game has the Theme Maker's Toolkit, so if you wanted to, you can make any 3D custom model and then import it into this game as custom scenery. You can import photos and videos onto billboards, which I'll be showing you all those kind of cool things. So this is the second level of the haunted house. I'm kind of starting from the front of the park and moving our way backwards. This over here is the hotel. I don't think a whole lot of people use the hotel because, I don't know, I wouldn't stay in a hotel in a theme park either, but we have one in here in case people want to use it. Now for some reason there's a lot of people in the park that are ducking. They all seem to be afraid of something. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's my camera. They're all afraid of the camera. Appears like a cool little greenhouse where there's a fun little thrill ride up here. Like I said, in the separate video, I ride every single ride in the park. So if you want to see a first-person POV of any of the rides, just click on the link in the description. So down here is one of the most popular rides in the whole entire park, and I'm not sure why, but it's the Haunted Mansion ride, which it takes place in a crematory, which is the place where they burn dead bodies, the crematory. And I think this is also called the Maryland Mansion. I don't know why I did that. But there's a lot of funny memes. We have the ghost from Scooby-Doo. We have the Doot skeleton. We got our boy Dompe. We got the Flying Dutchman, who is really scary because he might make you go through the perfume aisle.
But the door is locked, and the only way out is through the perfume department.
We got some spooky, scary skeletons. Minecraft painting. And Halloween Town. I don't know, that just made the line full of memes on this ride. But this ride's really cool. I'm gonna kind of go through it a little bit slowly. because you like go down into an actual crematory. You know, I like this portion right here. They come down. It's like a jump scare. Cracks me up. Come down here, these doors open up, and you go down into the crematory, which is where they burn the dead bodies, but it ends up being a lot more like a hellscape than anything. You just like keep on going around. You kind of just like fly through these tunnels. See lots of just like tormented souls. There's like larvae eating on like the dead bodies. This ride is really, really messed up. Don't ask me where this came from. I kind of just reached into the darkest places of my mind to create this ride. I was trying to make like a legitimately scary haunted house, which this next portion is probably the most messed up. And it's probably a bad thing that I'm starting off this tour by showing off like the most like demonic ride. I promise the rest of the park is not this demonic, but this ride, it just kind of went all out. Yeah, this room is made entirely out of skulls. So that's awesome. But then it gets a little bit less scary when you go around the Mario 64 eyeball. If you go around it fast enough, it might kill it. And yeah, this is the Maryland Mansion. I hope you enjoyed. Let's go on to some of the better rides in the park. I'm just going to skip back over here and go back through the main entrance. I love the main entrance because there's a Larson looper going around it. So it just has so many layers. You look up and you see a roller coaster. One of the things I like about this entrance is how many of the rides in the park you can see from the entrance. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see 8 rides, or maybe 9. 9 rides from the very entrance. It's pretty cool. Anyways, let's go back inside. This is going to be a very long video because there is a lot to tour in this park, but I am okay with that because with how much time I've spent making this park, I am definitely down with showing it off. Let's go for main boy Pegasus right here, which looks awesome. It reminds me of the horse from Tangled, which is like the best horse of all time. That horse has so much personality. I forgot his name. I think it's Maximus. I love that guy. So underrated as a movie character. Oh, look, here's the Gulpy the T-Rex. What a great mascot. So I'm going to circle around here. You see we have actually a lot of just like promotions for Manscaped. It's kind of cool. It's cool that a virtual theme park has a sponsor. Because like, this is really funny, in Six Flags is for some reason sponsored by some random like hair gel, and lots of their theme parks, if you go around it, you just see like tons of random hair gel commercials. I think it's really cool that this virtual theme park is legitimately being sponsored and paid for by a shaving company. It just kind of shows like where the future is going. We're moving into like a virtual landscape as time goes forward. Coming back here, this is one of my favorite rides in the park, and it's the first roller coaster I built, but it just looks so cool from a lot of angles. It's the Crystal Curver, and it's a dive coaster that just like circles around this really crazy landform, and you have tons of like headshot moments where it seems like you're about to like hit like one of these crystals or something, and then you curve around it and like dodge. It's really, really cool, and you can kind of like go underneath it and get even a better view from over here. We have like a little promotion for Tiki Cheeky. Tiki Cheeky. What is this? Is that I forgot what that even is. Some sort of food. Mumbo. Alright, this is a really cool ride back here. This is the Screaminator, which starts underground. It takes you all the way to the very top of the park and then drops you all the way back down to the bottom. It's one of the most intense rides in the park. Right here's another cool view of the Crystal Curver. You can really just see how it plays with your mind looking at it. It's a really fun ride to ride. It's like probably the #1 ride I would recommend you to see if you watch the first person view video of this park. So back here you can go to 2 different directions. You can go down to the basement of the park, which I don't know if I want to start down here. This is a really cool section. Actually, yeah, I think we can start down here. Let's actually go to the very, very bottom of the park and work our way up. I think that's like probably the best way to handle things. We'll start from the past and work our way to the present. We'll like make our way down there. There's like an arcade back here with some like bathrooms and stuff, which is kind of cool. It's like a small arcade, but I think it's pretty neat nonetheless. I love all the families. This is a great family park. So we have more family rides down in the very bottom portion. If we come down here, you can hear some like Lost Woods music in the background. I don't know why I use that. It just felt fitting for this environment. There's a bunch of like mushrooms and fireflies. So this right over here is my favorite roller coaster in the park, apart from the Crystal Curver, the Sawmill Thrill. This ride is really intense just because it has like a lot of different sections. So like over here we have the actual sawmill portion of the roller coaster where you're just like dodging like a bunch of just saws. Yeah, here comes all the carts. This ride would be so much fun to ride. I would love to ride a ride like this. I don't even know if a Wild Mouse coaster to this caliber even exists. This much detail. And then on this side, we have this like magical mushroom forest. It's kind of like a statement on society. Like on one side you have this like beautiful magical forests, and then the other side you kind of see what happens because of industrialization and deforestation. Not many roller coasters make statements on society, so somebody had to do it. Over here we have a Back to the Future roller coaster, which I love this one. It's first off, you come inside and you have the freaking DeLorean here just like floating above. And it's really cool because you blast through like a time tunnel and the coaster like starts while we're in here. It's really cool because it blasts off and it takes you through time and it goes all the way to the top of the theme park. So it's actually a time traveler. You go really, really fast, up to 82 miles per hour like the DeLorean does right in here. And once you reach max speed, you blast off into the future and you end up in like the space station at the very end. And then you end up coming back. Okay, the gate's closed. I'm excited for you guys to see how this coaster works. Check this out. Alright, so it kind of builds up for anticipation, and then you even get like the DeLorean like particle effects, and then it's off. And this is just a typical shuttle coaster, so they blast all the way to the top of the park, and then they're going to come back in a moment. There they are. These people just had the time of their lives. We get the particle effects when they come back too. Okay, and then on the other side, you can take a detour over here. There's some vending machines. Got some just nice places to sit and chill back here. Yeah, look at these people just enjoying this little underground forest. You might be wondering how these trees are able to survive even though there isn't any natural light down here. They're all fake. We have the most expensive fake plants in this park. And this ride is called 1849, The Untold Story. It is a mine train roller coaster. Let's peep in here. Whoa, I forgot there's like a wagon in here. Caravan. This coaster is alright. It's not the most themed coaster in the park, but it's kind of cool. You start off by coming down here. You go through the station of the River Rapids ride, which I thought was pretty cool. And then you circle around and you go up and you just circle around like the upper section of this lower level. And the coolest thing about this is at the very, very end, before it ends, you like dive down into this lower segment. This is probably the most family-friendly ride in the whole entire theme park. Like, this is the family-friendly coaster. It's a medium speed. It's not supposed to be too scary, apart from this last drop, but you build up to it. And then this is the River Rapids ride, which is really sick. So you start off over here. And your whole entire family just plunges even deeper into this park. When you're down here, you're just going into an ancient tomb. This river ride is called the Lost City of Sapphire. So you're trying to find like this ancient treasure, and on your way down here, you like narrowly miss a bunch of booby traps. So right here, you almost get like crushed by these logs. And then as you continue, I'm not really sure how these spikes would hurt you, but they're here because they look cool. Just gonna follow it around. This ride was really fun to make. It was really fun making a portion of this theme park entirely underground. Just because that's like something you wouldn't normally see in a theme park. Like, that doesn't exist in real life, so it's cool to like make something fictitious like this. It makes me excited for some of the future challenges I'm going to create. Like, somebody challenged me to recreate the anatomy park from Rick and Morty. What they mean by that is just to make a theme park based off of the human anatomy, which that would be kind of interesting. Somebody else suggested I make a theme park that's entirely indoors, which I've been to Mall of America. They just opened up that new mall in New Jersey as well that has the Nickelodeon theme park with that new dive coaster that's now the steepest roller coaster of all time. I think it goes like 109.5 degrees. It's pretty awesome. So those are 2 challenges that I'm considering doing in the future. And look, we finally found the lost city of Sapphire. Woo! Golds and riches for everybody. Check my bank account. I'm like, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And then this is a wrecked ship. Don't ask me why that's there. It just is. And then you end up circling back around. I think it's a pretty fun ride. It's really long for a River Rapids ride, especially with like all the constraints that I had. Something else I want to do now that this challenge is complete, I kind of want to make like one bonus video where I just like have fun and build some rides outside of the park boundaries. I think it'd be fun to make like a giga coaster around the canyon. We have circled back around. I think that's pretty much all we have on this lowest section. I just realized we don't have very much food on this lowest section apart from the vending machines. That might be a slight problem, but oh well. It is what it is. Alright, so that is the lowest section. Let's climb up to level 2. Oh, something else that's really cool you can do. I kind of forgot about this. If you click on a guest, if you go into their names and you replace a name with the name Tegged Cam, it'll put you into like a first-person perspective as if you're one of the guests, and it doesn't entirely lock you on a path, but it'll pretty much keep you on the paths so you feel like you're an actual guest. You can sort of get off, but not by far. Like, I'm trying to leave the path right now, but it won't let me go any further than this. It's kind of cool. You actually feel like you're a guest, but you like run really fast. It's hard to like kind of control your speed. You're just like sprinting through it. Run that game like cardio. This is the line to the Ring of Ice, which is the ride that loops around the entrance. It's a kind of cool one. Now, I'll say this level isn't too interesting. It looks cool, but for the most part, there's not much to do here. There's this ride, which is called Skirt, because you like skirt around the edges, like Quavo. Skirt, skirt, skirt. And then over here we have the line to the Screaminator. But this whole entire second level is mostly dedicated towards like this RMC coaster over here that takes up like half of it. And I don't know why this level didn't have very much stuff. I mostly just wanted to keep it cleaner, have it be like a transition level. But yeah, let's go back up to the main level of the park. I don't actually want to be in Tegged Cam mode. I was like too in line with the guests. Just like fly through. I want to be like a little bit over their heads, because it feels weird clipping through all of them. And here's the Crystal Curver. This line is always super duper long because this is one of the most popular rides in the park. It has like one of the highest prestiges, but it's really, really fun. And it's very, very long. It's probably one of the longest coasters in the park. But it was the very first coaster I built, so I had like a lot of spare space to work with. And then I had to be more conservative with my future blueprints. But yeah, this one's really cool. Let me just like kind of fly around the track a little bit. So it starts off with a pretty deep dive. And I just love this coaster because it's really, really compact. Like, everything about it is just, like, I've never seen a coaster in real life quite like this, so I'm pretty proud of it because of that sense. Kind of reminds me of like the Matterhorn at Disneyland, I guess. Let me hide the gooby. And this over here is probably one of the other best coasters in the park. It doesn't go very high. It's an RMC coaster, and it pretty much like hugs the ground the whole entire time. But the cool thing about it is it's really, really fun, even though it doesn't have a lot of elevation. A coaster that can be fun without having to go very high is really cool. It has just a lot of fun elements. It has some zero-G elements, a couple barrel rolls, lots of good airtime. It's pretty sick. Especially this portion right here, where you do this like barrel roll around this tunnel. It's a little bit wonky, but I did my best. It's not easy to make things perfect on the coasters. And then you dive into the lower section and circle around. Whew. I think it's hauling. Oh, you can see some of the fire. Oh no, it's the tormented souls. should probably put a few rocks there to block that off. I've tried to like go through and find every single little like mistake I could have possibly made in the park, but a few things might have slipped through. Okay, now we're back in the lower level. How did this happen? Let's get back up here. We have another coaster over to the side. This one kind of like gets forgotten by me a lot, but it's called the Big Bang Theory. And this is probably another really fun coaster in the park because it's a spinning coaster, so you get like a lot of extra thrill from the spinning, but you might also get sick because it starts to spin really fast on these like lower sections over here. But yeah, this sort of also, it kind of gets mixed in with the Crystal Curver a little bit because it's off to the side. Alright, I think that's everything in the lowest level as far as I'm concerned. I think it's time to go up to level 2, which we get to from over here. So in this theme park, it's all like a big circle. So there's 2 ways up to the top and 2 ways down. So you're never going to be like completely stuck if they're like one of the ways is blocked off for some reason. How to make sure that was done for, you know, like fire purposes. So it'd be a hazard if there wasn't. So this is the line to Twisted Lightning, which is the coaster I was just showing you guys. It's the RMC coaster. The station is above the park entrance. And then over here leads to the exit of the coaster, but it also leads to the next level. So yeah, here's the station for the Crystal Curver. It starts off just by dropping you off into the tunnel. And then if you come over to this side, we have the coaster that goes over the entrance of the park, which is the Medusa. It's a single rail coaster called the Medusa. We have like a bunch of just like statues because of Medusa, and called it that because it looks like a bunch of snakes just like weaving around the park entrance. Alright, going up even higher. This ride right here is called Pegasus, and I like the lines of this ride. It's really pretty. It's underrated, overlooked by a lot of the guests. But yeah, this is a ride, I think this is initially called Insanity, and you know, it just kind of does its thing up here. And we still have a lot higher to go. I should probably speed things up a little bit. I'm trying to like be a bit quicker because I'm realizing this video is really starting to drag on a bit, isn't it? Yikes. They do it for likes. Alright, so I'm going to keep on going up. So we have like a little food court and some restaurants over here. This is like some sort of French restaurant. Le 27. I think it sells like croissants and some other French foods. Got some coffee. People are coming up here for some fresh agua. Alright, and now this is taking us up into the future section. We're getting to the space station now, which this is my personal favorite portion of the park. And this is the portion that I put the most detail into. I saved the best for last for this video, so buckle in, buckaroos. Starts off with the Vortex, which is a really beautiful looking ride. Has a really cool Vortex feel. I'm not sure why nobody's riding it. Probably because it costs too much money. I probably need to lower the price. Oh yeah, but right here there's a 4D coaster that loops over the bridge to the space station. I'm not gonna wait for it to happen because I feel like it's cool to see, like, stand right here and have the coaster go around you. Oh, there it is, there it is. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Woo! It comes back up over there. Yes, okay. Dang, where's my staff? I literally just like hired a bunch of staff a little bit ago and gave them all salary upgrades and trained them all, so there's no reason they shouldn't be there. Okay, so coming up here we have our first coaster, the Moon Cobra. That's the one that I was just showing you guys. If you come like down over into this lower section, this is what takes you to the staircase. There's like this staircase like off to the side over here that will definitely give you the craziest leg workout ever. You might even learn how to float like these people are. Yeah, this is a dangerous staircase that leads to the space station as well. Yes, come back over here. We have the Moon Cobra, which is a very, very expensive coaster to make. It's a 4D coaster, which means they have like control over the trajectory of the seats. The seats are able to rotate like in a 360-degree fashion. It's a crazy coaster type. I've never ridden one before myself, but the next time I go to Magic Mountain, Six Flags, I need to ride X2. It's one of the best examples. This is a really fun ride. Let's keep on going higher, 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 higher. And this is the last coaster of the theme park. It's a launch coaster that's at the very top of the park. This is the most thrilling. Like, this coaster has the highest excitement rating out of any coaster of the park. So I guess best for last as well when it comes to the roller coasters that you can ride. But the line for this one is over here. This one's called the Stratos Surfer, and it has a really cool entrance. Everyone's screaming everywhere. People are all so scared. But this one's extra cool because when you go through the launch tunnel, you go through like this bubblegum launchway passage. It just looks really cool when you're going through it super fast. And then we have the top section, which you get to over here. This leads to the last couple rides and the very top food court, which there's not very many people up here right now for some reason. It's probably because I had the park closed, and like right before I started this video, I opened the park, so people are still probably like making their way up here slowly. Yeah, this food court's really cool. The people who haven't made it up here yet are missing out on some delicious food. But yeah, this top section almost feels like a nightclub. There's like a bunch of lights, dubstep music playing. It's an adventure. We have this ride right here called Yikes. Right here you can like overlook the food court a little bit. Just looks so cool. This is just a launch tower where you can get like a crazy view of the whole entire canyon. Like, look at this. Wouldn't this be a crazy view? Let's see what the view is like at the very top of this thing. You get pulled all the way up here. And this is the view you get. You get like a 360-degree view of this canyon. This thing is huge. But yeah, if you get like a further away view of the park, this is what it looks like. This thing is just, I can't believe I created this, honestly. It took about 3 months. I've put so many hours into it, and I'm so happy it's done. And on top of that, I made one of my favorite YouTube series on the whole entire process of creating this park. So if you want to see like how I made this thing from the ground up, there is a 15-part series that you can watch. I'll have the playlist down in the description. I tell a lot of my Planet Coaster like building tips, show how I build a lot of things. I don't show like every detail. It's a pretty like well-edited series. It's pretty fast-paced because I built all of this in just 15 episodes. But if you want a really good entertaining watch, if you're like locked in because of the virus right now and need something to hold you over, come join me as I build this theme park from the ground up. Or I have another series called Let's Build the Ultimate Theme Park, and it's currently at 60 episodes. But that is a series where it's like the opposite of this one. This is the tiny park. That's like where I'm trying to build the biggest theme park of all time. And it's just about as detailed as this one. I put in my Planet Coaster work. I have like 1,500 hours in this game, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. But yeah, this is the tiny park. So there's 2 other videos you can watch in the description. You can ride all of the rides first person, and there is another video that I'm doing, which is like a 5-hour-long video where it's just from a first-person perspective from one of the guests as they just explore the park. It's more of a chill video. There's no commentary. You just get to spend 5 hours in Sapphire City and get to take in the ambience and ride the rides. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give that video a thumbs up. And if you want to help me even more, share this video with one of your friends. Just like send them a message on like Twitter or like Facebook or text message and be like, yo, check out this theme park. This is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, show your friends this game. Planet Coaster is such a cool game, and this game needs more people to know about it. That's why I put so much time into this theme park. I was hoping I would make something that when people saw it, they'd be like, yo, I gotta show my friend this game. This thing is awesome. So hopefully this theme park opens up your eyes to the possibilities and capabilities of Planet Coaster if you didn't already know about them. Because this game is phenomenal, and more people should own it because it's just really cool. Just games where you're allowed to be creative to your mind's content, where there's literally no limitations to what you can possibly do. Those are my favorite types of games, and this game is exactly that. So yeah, check it out. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Thank you all so much for watching this video if you've made it this far. Like I said, I hope just stay safe among this whole entire coronavirus thing. This is my first video I've uploaded since like it started getting really bad, so I'm definitely a little bit worried about the whole entire thing, especially since I have a convention coming up in July. I hope I don't have to cancel it. Hopefully this whole entire thing gets solved quicker than expected. Let's all just pray and take good precaution and be healthy and wash our hands. Please wash your hands, guys. I've seen statistics saying that like there's people out there who barely wash their hands even after using the bathroom, and I like puked the second I heard that in my brain. And I just don't even want to even think there's people out there not washing their hands, especially when there's a deadly virus going around that doesn't have a cure yet. So let's all be smart and do our part. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.